Hey, it's Zueljin, and I'm back from Minecon 2013. What can I say? It was so terrific. I mean, the entire experience was terrific. I'm gonna do my best to put this together in a reasonable format that doesn't look too choppy, but I have a lot to show. I'm also gonna be checking my notes here, so if you see my eyes stray, it's not that I'm not being sincere. um, First and foremost, a huge thanks to a few people. Number one, Drax15. Drax is he's a server mate of mine. I don't know how many of you know him, but he was my standby guy the entire time. Drax met me a little while back when he joined the server, and we finally got a chance to meet in person. I got to meet him and his wife, and we hung out together the entire time. He gave me a ride to the Minecrack party. He stayed with me throughout the convention, and it was terrific to be able to hang out with him. So Drax, I really appreciate you. If y'all haven't seen any of his stuff, please go check out his channel. It's gonna be in the description of the video, and it's on all the Hypermine and Hypercraft videos that I do, so you guys could go check him out. Slowpoke had some tickets available, so huge thanks to Slowpoke for getting those tickets to me. He didn't overcharge me or anything. That was just really generous. Me and Bailey got to go to Minecon because of the misfortune that some of his friends had, unfortunately, but we were so pleased to be able to go and experience that. And also special thanks to Good, well, Good Boulderfist, y'all know him. Good was the guy that originally got me the tickets. He had tried early on and he couldn't get any for me after I couldn't purchase them. So when he sent me a message and gave me the ability to attend that with Bailey, that was so cool. His generosity goes way past that. We'll talk more about that in the coming sessions. So to start off, we drove about 14 hours to Orlando. Now, the first day we ended up, we couldn't leave on time because we had absolutely no prep time. Like, work and life was just pretty much taking up all our time until the very day that we got to leave. So the morning, Bailey went to school for half a day, and Tracy and I got together and packed up. Tracy packed up most of the stuff. When I got back from work the following night, we just put some last minute things together. I tried to get a little video put out, and then the next day we just finished up and we left. So we left, I don't know what time it was. I think it was a little bit afternoon, and we drove throughout the night. We figured that we were going to stop on the way, that we weren't going to drive straight there. Tracy was such a trooper. She drove the entire distance to Minecon. So we stopped at a hotel on the way, a Marriott. I think it was when we were just getting into Florida. We had already drove like 6 or 8 hours. But Tracy, crazy story, I had given Tracy a Marriott gift card a while back, something, because I didn't know what to get her. Tracy's so hard to buy for Christmas or anniversary. So I gave her a Marriott gift card, and I said, this is for me and you, so when we want to just get away or go do a little honeymoon thing or whatever, we could do that. Well, we never used the card, so Marriott seemed like a perfect thing. That was just less money that we had to spend on the trip, which was cool. And we ended up going to the Marriott, chilling out that night, falling asleep, waking up the next morning early, and driving the rest of the way. So we got to the hotel room at about 7:30, and y'all, this hotel room was it was crazy. I'm sorry, not 7:30, 5:30. It was crazy. The hotel room itself wasn't that crazy, but the hotel itself was crazy. It was huge. The complex was ginormous. It connected to the actual convention center, so we didn't have to do any driving. We parked for 3 days. That was it. We just walked back and forth to the convention. But first of all, we had the party to attend. Now, instead of getting a cab or driving the actual vehicle there, because I figured I'd be drinking at the party, I ended up messaging Drax, and Drax was like, yeah, I'll pick you up. So him and his wife came and picked me up. And the only reason I'm not saying her name is that I'm not sure that Drax is cool with that, or that she's cool with that. So for those of you that really want to know her name, y'all can ask Drax. I'm sure he'll be in the comments posting anyway. But the Minecrack party was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. I got to meet so many people. when we first got there, I was added to the guest list. Thanks again, Good. So that I didn't have to pay for an actual ticket to get in. Even though that wasn't beyond me, I wanted to do that, but he was like, "No, I'll add you to the VIP list." So I walked right up. Drax and his wife waited in line a little bit, and we got in relatively quickly. I think they had the lines sorted by like last names, letters, or whatever, and our lines were short, so it worked out pretty good. But let's see. I saw the Minecrackers. I met Brian and Vaughn pretty early on. I saw them in there. I had already met Brian. I had already met Vaughn in real life, but I never met Brian, so it was great to meet him. He's just like he's just like I saw him in all of his videos. He's good old Brian. I love him. But then we saw a dual getting pungents. They were upstairs. They had like 2 levels. One with like a pool table area, and the lower level was the bowling alley. Naturally, well. The lines were all forming up downstairs and stuff. And they had a couple lines upstairs. I think Generic B and I want to say MC Gamer were upstairs. So the lines weren't that bad, and it was a little bit less crowded. So when we wanted quiet time, we kind of went up there. Not quiet time, but you know. And we met Pungents and a Dual Get, so it was nice seeing them. But Dual Get lost his voice very early on, poor guy. But we ended up meeting him and speaking for a little while and hanging out, and then we ended up making our rounds again. I met some guys from Raidcraft. This was interesting. So I was outside talking with Drax and his wife, and we were kind of just talking about stuff, you know, and meeting people and how cool it was. And there was a few German guys that took a table behind us outside the little patio area, and they said something about Dungeon Realms. Well, I said Dungeon Realms was fantastic, and they were like, Dungeon Realms. It pales in comparison to what we got. So we started talking, and I had never heard of Raidcraft before, but it seems really, really cool. It's all German-based right now, but it's an adventure-type server with a huge world, and I'm planning on doing some exploration for that for sure. But real nice guys. I'm going to link some information down below for y'all to check out. I'm sure it's going to be something that most of you would like. But we met those guys, hung out with them for a little bit. I also got the chance to meet Lucklin and thank him. Lucklin, he used to do a lot of YouTube. Now he does streaming, but that's Minecraft WB for y'all that don't know. But I ended up meeting Lucklin and getting to talk with him a little while. Thanked him for a shout out that he had gave me long time ago, back when I was on the Shanks at Dawn server. And Lucklin's a real good guy. I really like him, and it was cool to be able to meet him. Saw Good. Good had a line developed, and I didn't want to bother anybody or wait in lines for signatures or anything. I wanted to be some kind of a support line while I was just hanging out. So I brought a towel specifically for Good. I brought a washcloth because the guy sweats like nobody's business. So I said that my main objective was to get him that towel as soon as I saw him sweating, and naturally he was when I saw him. So I passed by him when he was in line. I mean, when there was a line for him, and I was like, "Here, I brought you a towel." He was like, "Oh, thanks." And I was like, "You good? You good on drinks?" He said, "No, I got water." And he turned around and his water had disappeared. So I went and grabbed him water too. The story behind the towel was Slipgator wanted me to he wanted to know what Good smelled like. Which, no Slip. So I said, okay, I got a plan. So I said I was going to get the towel and let Good wipe himself all night with it and preserve it to give to Slipgator. But I think Good sold it on eBay because the towel is missing. I don't know. Anyway, you might have sold that for memorabilia. So sorry, Slip, you can't get your sweaty towel, Good towel. But that was real fun. So anyway, had the chance to meet Doc M, and Ormanage wanted me to tell Doc hi. So I wanted to make sure I got that done. I went up to Doc after things had settled down a little bit. Got to talk with him a little bit. Really thanked him for his shout outs and all his motivation that he gave me early on when I was starting up. It was a pleasure to see y'all. Out of all the Minecrackers, Doc seems the most emotional about all of it. Like, every time you meet him, he's so genuine and so overwhelmed by what's happening to him. It's the most terrific and motivating thing I can honestly say. Seeing that makes me know how real it is and not surreal. You know what I mean? It's like, if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what does. But it was great to see Doc and get to shake his hand. I think I hugged him too. I don't know. I hugged everybody. I hugged a lot of people, but it was cool. So I met Beef and Paws for the first time too. Beef is pretty tall. I didn't think he'd be that tall, especially since I didn't think he had legs in the first place. I'll go more into detail about that. That's a hilarious story. But Paws was very tall, which I already knew. But I met both those guys and got to shake their hands, and that was real cool. Got to thank Beef for the opportunity with the Steve versus Steve and talk with him a little bit about that. I think Beef was pretty overwhelmed with everything. He was not used to it, and you know, he was pretty nerve-wracking. It was pretty nerve-wracking, I'm sure, for most of those guys, because there was a lot. I mean, literally they just stood in line the entire time, meeting people, taking pictures and signing autographs, probably until right up at the end, you know, when they shut it down at 1 o'clock. They still had a few lines for people. B00 stayed, had a line 50 deep the entire time. It was incredible. B00 chose to wear red pants, which I thought was funny. I looked at it, I was like, what? But anyway, it was cool. And let's see. So we went back to the room after about 1 o'clock. We had enough. I had a few to drink, and we were tired. I still drove quite a bit that day. So, well, I had rode in the truck quite a bit that day because Tracy drove. But it was really, really tiring. So we ended up going to the hotel room and crashing. And the next morning, instead of attending opening ceremonies, because it was late, like it was really, really hard for me to get up. I was really tired. Ended up missing opening ceremonies to go to breakfast. And let's see, next morning took Bailey to the convention. There were people everywhere, y'all, like tons and tons and tons of people. When you see 7,500 people for the first time, like in your face, it's a lot. All at one place, you know, but it was cool. I just made sure Bailey stayed by me and we kept running around. But, you know, everywhere that I've ever went that a number of people have joined for anything, regardless of what the occasion, whether it's a concert or a basketball game or anything like that, there's always incidents, you know what I mean? Especially parties. And I can honestly say, y'all, through the whole time, not one incident, no violence, no nothing. There were a couple of incidents where I think there was some people trying to steal something at the party, or somebody thought, which I don't know the details of that. I don't want to spread rumors, but that's just what somebody told me. Other than that, there was nothing. MC Gamer lost his LG phone, like his brand new smartphone. He had tons of information on that thing, and it was turned in. When does that happen? Nobody turns in cell phones when they're found. People take those things, but ended up turning it in, you know. So I thought that was terrific. You just don't get that where that just goes to show how awesome the people were over there. Everybody was happy. Nobody was above anybody else. Everybody just talked and had fun and met, and there were parents and kids and teenagers and adults, and there were every kind of people. There were people from different places all over the state, even some from the UK and stuff, in Canada. So that many people getting together at one place and all getting along was just, it was amazing. It's just such an amazing thing for me to think about. So I want to break down the schedule and kind of go about my thoughts and a review of some of the panels that I went to. So I'm going to switch to that right quick. So after we met Slowpoke for the tickets and went to registration and got our bracelets, we ended up starting to check out the schedule and stuff. And basically, there was an opening ceremony followed by a live streaming event. So I wanted to check out the live streaming event because that's something that I'd like to get into eventually. I've been toying around with it lately, but nothing real major. But I'd like to do much more of that. But live streaming was pretty cool. It didn't last too long, and it wasn't there wasn't too much information in it. But I did get to meet a couple of people. I met Venom Kisser and I Am Spoon, and we saw some of them. I didn't even know this, but there's a streamer called Lancey Poo, and Lancey Poo is actually from Louisiana too, so it was cool meeting him. I got to meet him a little bit later on, but they talked a little bit about streaming and how that went down. We ended up creating the big project and developing mods. Product Edition Future, we didn't do that either. Minecraft 101 for Parents, naturally, we didn't do. But Meet and Greet Sky Does Minecraft. Bailey wanted to do that, but the line was ridiculous, and I convinced her otherwise. So, running a server, I actually attended That was actually pretty terrible. It's no offense to the people that were running it, but basically they started talking about more on the lines of larger servers, like public servers and customer service, and how to keep people happy, and that wasn't exactly my bag, so we ended up leaving that early. Didn't see Autism in Minecraft. Video Making 101, naturally I didn't want to attend that. I thought that would be very basic. Although there was, outside, we didn't see Cobalt or the Weird Science of Qcraft, but we ended up visiting the Qcraft booth in Minecon for a little while, and that was pretty cool. I ended up wanting to go to the, where was it, the Building Your YouTube Channel. I thought that was going to be a little bit more interesting, and actually it wasn't. I thought 101 would have been the basic stuff, and building your channel would have been a little bit better, but they talked about channel etiquette and stuff, like not to go spam comments on other people's channels, and what to do and what not to do, and it was still really basic, so didn't really learn much from that. Bailey was so bored she was falling asleep, so we ended up getting out of there. Entering building contests, we didn't do that either. Writing the Minecraft book, we didn't do that. The future of Minecraft, Drax went to that. He said it was really interesting. They talked about putting streaming available into Minecraft right away, which was pretty cool. It's going to be like a one-button stream type deal, and it's going to be integrated with Minecraft, which is pretty awesome. Didn't see life as an indie developer or custom map making, although I've heard the custom map making was actually good. The creatures building in Minecraft families we didn't see. We saw some of the costume contests, which was absolute madness. They had contests, they had costumes, y'all, like you wouldn't believe. They had Ender Dragons, Endermen, creepers everywhere. They had pigs and cows and mushrooms and you name it. It was really cool. But we ended up getting some supper and heading to Island of Adventures to begin departing, and that was an adventure of itself. And I'll be going over that in much more detail when we come back. I want to do this thing in two parts because I tried putting the footage together in one part and it was way too long, and I want y'all to be able to enjoy the entire experience like I did as well as possible. So thanks so much. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please like it. Give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And I'll see you guys for part 2. Thanks so much for watching. Zueljin signing off. Have a good one.